Hey guys, Willie James here from Dreamhouse Music, and we're going to try to keep today's video a little bit shorter. I want to talk about extending or making basic gospel chords sound nice. All right, I'm going to go from a beginner's approach, and hopefully you could learn something today. And if you want to learn more about gospel piano, make sure to click the link below in the description for more resources. And also remember to like, share, and subscribe so that we can share the love with the gospel piano community. Thank you so much for your support. So let's get right into it. Making chords nice. Well, first thing I'm going to go to is my Diatonic Chords Playbook. This is a PDF that you could download. Click the link below, enter your information, grab my top 7 chord PDF guide, and also the Quick Start course to get access to this. Basically, I have all the diatonic chords. Let me zoom out a little bit here so you can see. It's called the Diatonic Chords Playbook. All diatonic chords in 12 keys. We're talking about the 12 major keys from C all the way to B. Right, I have all the basic chords built on the scale. So if we're in C, this would be the diatonic chords. And then we have 7th chords for richness, and then we have common gospel alternatives that you could use in place of those diatonic chords. Right, so if you want access to that, right, so I'm just playing some of the chords that are in this book here, all 12 keys. Again, click the link below to get access to this. Now, we got to talk about how chords are built in the first place, all right, to understand how to extend and make nice chords that we hear in our favorite songs. So let's take the C major scale, right? Using the number system 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so the basic chords, the diatonic chords, are built in threes. So let's just pay attention to this area here, and let's talk about the diatonic chord built on the 1, or in gospel we just say the 1 chord. Okay, so the 1 chord will be built on the first degree of the scale, which is just the first note. Degree means note. Okay, so it's C, and then the next note is E and G. So what is that? Well, we say that the 1 chord is built from the 1, the 3, and the 5 in the scale. When I say the 1, I mean C. When I say 3, I mean E, and when I say 5, I mean G. Simple. The 1, the 3, and the 5. Now, if we look closely, right, it's easy to build basic chords. All right, chords are built in what's called thirds. Okay, it's the space between each note. So if you count up from the 1, which is the C, it's 3. 1, 2, 3 to E. C to E is 1, 2, 3. And from E to G, same thing. 1, 2, 3. So you could just count up in threes to build chords. It's that simple. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Counting up the scale. If it was another key, let's switch to another key. If it was D flat major, how do I build the 1 chord? It's the same thing. The 1, which is D flat, I count up 3 up the scale, not random notes. Right? Up the scale. I'm not counting these white notes. I'm counting the notes in the scale. Okay? That's why you got to know your scale as beginners. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. I got my major chord. Simple. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. You're counting up the notes in the scale. That's because in music, basic chords are built in thirds or spaces of 3. Okay? So, if you want to build bigger chords, right? We're talking about chord extensions, bigger chords, lush chords. You just repeat the process. So we have the 3-note chord here, C, E, G. I'll just count up 3 from G. 1, 2, 3. That gives me what's called a 7th chord. Okay, and I have this in the Diatonic Chords Playbook in all 12 keys. So again, click the link below to get access. So look. C, E, G, B. What is that? C major 7th. What's the 7th? I talked about this in my other videos. Basically, all right, the 7 is referring to the space between C and B, the root note, which is the foundation of the chord, and the top note. All right, so this is C major 7th. Okay, if you count from C to B, you get 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So isolating the space between C and B is 7. So what you're saying is C major 7th. So the B is a major 7th from C. Right? This is a diatonic chord because all these notes are actually in the scale, as you can see. C is in the scale. Yes, it is. E is. So is G, and so is B. This is called a diatonic chord as well. If it was a B flat, it's not diatonic. My software is saying A sharp, but B flat, same thing. B flat, A sharp. Okay, B flat is not diatonic because there is no B flat in the C major scale. So we say that B flat is non-diatonic. This C7 chord is not diatonic. The C major 7th chord is diatonic because all these notes are in the scale, not in the scale. Hopefully I didn't lose you there, but we're counting in threes. That's it. So you have your song, you have your chord, sorry, and I voice, you know, for those of you who are beginner, what do you play in the left hand? Just repeat some of the notes from the right hand. Usually I do the 1 and the 5. Okay, C is 1, G is 5. So I'll just repeat it here in my left hand, like so. Right? Easy. So instead of just playing this boring C, you could do this. Okay? Right. How can we extend this further? And this is called C major 7th. Remember? Space between the root and the top. Before we move on, I want to point out, if we move this B anywhere else, like here, it's still a C major 7th. Whether it's here or it's here. Well, my software is saying some weird stuff, but it's still a C major 7th. Just ignore that. So even though the B is now beside the C, it's still a C major 7th. You got to mentally arrange the notes in order to figure in thirds, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what I mean by thirds, to get to the original name of the chord. You can move this B around. You could repeat it, which is what I call stacking, like so. So from this easy diatonic chord, C, E, G, I can easily build a nice 7 chord. Just counting up in threes, 1, 2, 3, and I can move these notes around as well. Right? That's like an R&B chord. Okay, all from this basic C major. Let's go further. What if we counted up 3 from the B? What would we get? It's not here in this page, but I have another resource available too. That's going to show 9th chords. Count up 3. 1, 2, 3. Up the scale. B, C, D. I hope you know what I mean by up the scale. B is degree 7. C is 1. So you're starting over. 1, 2, 3. That's a C major 9th. Why? You guessed it. The space between the C and the D is 9. If I isolate it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Space between the bottom, the root note, and the top is 9 steps. So this is a C major 9, and the 7th could be implied. You could leave out the 7th if you want. Okay, still a C major. Well, the software is saying different people write differently. You could say this is a C add 9, a C major 9, or you could say C add 9. Right? So whether you want to include this 7 or not is up to your discretion, depending on the song, the sound you're going for. Okay, as a beginner, I wouldn't go more than 9th chord starting out, because you can manipulate these chords. So the basic diatonic, C, E, G, then the major 7th chord, and the 9th chord, to work your way to playing nice chords. So it's really that simple. Let's go to another key. Let's go to E flat. Same thing. How do I build the 1 chord, which you could see here? E flat major, E flat, G, B, B flat. This is the scale: E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's change the key of my software here to E flat so that I can get the right notes that I want to see. All right. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so remember, our chords are built in thirds. So if I'm going to build a 1 chord in the key of E flat, I start from 1, which is E flat, because we're in the key of, which is the 1. E flat is the 1, right? The 3 is G, as you can see here in the scale, and 5 is B flat, okay? Right, you can see here, diatonic chord. E flat, G, B flat. If we want to go further, count up the scale in 3. So from B flat, 1, 2, 3 is D. So easily I've built the E major 7th. Again, why is it a major 7th? Because the distance between the bottom note E flat and the top note D is 7 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. E flat major 7th. If I want to build an E flat major 9th, what do? I count up 3 from the top note here. 1, 2, 3. Remember, we're counting up the scale, not random notes. 1, 2, 3. So you gotta know your scale. If you're not sure, again, click on the link below to get access to the top 7 PDF guide and my quick start course, and you'll get access to this PDF with all the scales and all the diatonic chords. Okay, 1, 2, 3, boom, easily have my 9th chord. Okay, very simple. Okay, let's talk about manipulation. Let's go to the key of F. One more, then we'll talk about manipulation. Okay, F major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, let's change the key of the software to F just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Great. How do I build the 1 chord? The 1, the 3, and the 5, which is in this key is F, A, C. As you can see here, I'm pointing. What if I want to build a 7th chord? Easy. Count up 3 from the C. 1, 2, 3. Boom. F major 7th. Okay. Again, the distance between the bottom note and the top note is 7. What if I want to make an F major 9? Just count up 3. 1, 2, 3. Up the scale. Boom. F major 9. It's that simple. Okay. So let's stay in the key of F. What things can we do to make a 1 chord nice? Well, one thing we could do is actually, let's just talk about my favorite thing to do, which is the add 2 or the add 9. If you've watched some of my videos, you know I love the add 9. Here's my favorite voicing. So let's talk about the root voicing. Add 9 is just an add 2. It's the same thing. Because the 9 is G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But G is also down here, which is 2 steps, 1, 2. The top G is 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or it's 2, 1, 2. It's just an octave lower. So the add 9 and the add 2 are the same thing, okay? So let's voice it like this. The add 2. Some people call this sus2. I just say add 2. Whatever you want to do. Right? A nice open voicing. Usually people say this is the add 9 because I have the 3 in it as well. And when you take away the 3, it's a sus2. But I just call everything add 2 just to keep things simple. Right? Very nice. Okay? What I could do though is I could do, let's say we added a oh, here, I know. Let's add the 7th. What would be the 7th? Tell me. You guessed it, E. Let's say I put the E up here. Ooh, I get this crazy chord. More of a jazzy R&B-ish sound. Okay, and that's just an alternate to this basic 1 chord, FAC. Right? Add 9, usually you'll use this in like CCM or worship songs. But if you do an add 9 on the 1, and if you look closely, this is actually a C major in 2nd inversion over the 1 chord. It's like a 5 over 1. When I say 5, in the key of F, the 5 chord is C major, C, E, G, but it's in this inversion. So 5 over 1. But if you want to be technical, it's F major, I would say F major 7th, add 9, or sus2, as my software is saying. Okay. Let's talk about another voicing. That was one. Let's go back to the add 2. One of my favorite things to do, I have this, right? Like this, the add 2, which is the G. Remember, we're in F major. I take this F, put it an octave higher, just like that. Right? And I could do patterns between the 2 and the 3, which is G and A. Okay. Another chord I like is called the sus4, used in gospel. It's It's this. Well, it's not this. I'm sharing how to get there. Take the basic diatonic 1 chord and move the 3rd up to the 4, which is B flat. Well, why is it 4? This should be called F sus4. I don't know why it's saying that. Oh, there we go. F sus4. Well, the suspended 4th, it's just a 4. The 4 in F major is B flat. So this is F major, this is F sus4. So all you're doing is moving the 3, which is A, to the 4th degree, which is B flat. Remember, we're tackling gospel piano with the number system. It's so much easier, right? F sus4. So I could go back to my chord here and do a pattern. Right? Right? Now with this sus4, it's really a 4 chord, which is B flat with the add 2, but it's over the 1. So it now becomes a F sus4. I hope I didn't lose you. B flat is the 4 chord. Let's go back to our diatonic chord chart here. B flat is B flat D F, which is the 4, the 6, and the 1. Okay? And then we're doing the add 2 over the 1. When you put it over 1, we're counting from the context of F. F is now the 1. So if F is the 1, count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat is 4. That's why they call it a F sus4. Because you're playing the 1 and the 4 at the same time. Okay? So let's go to our pattern. Or you could do, when you do the sus4, you could play the 1 and the 6. Right? Gives you a nice, it's really a 4 chord over the 1. The 4 chord is B flat, but it's in open form. So the D here would be normally here. Right? That's the 4 chord. The B flat. This is a B flat, add 2. I took the D down here. Right? And then I have the F in my bass. So you could apply this pattern to many songs. Right? Very nice. Okay? So, you see how it's so easy to build chords? Let's talk about minor chords. Let's go back to C. Okay, it's easier to understand everything in C, but you can apply it to different keys. Let's talk about the 2 chord, which is D minor, D, F, and A. What's the 2 chord consist of? Well, it's the 2, the 4, and the 6. Okay, so when you have a 2 chord in a song, right, and you want to expand it, you want to make it nice, go to your scale, just count in 3s again, because the original chord. Let's pull it up. Let's see if we could actually get everything in 1. There we go. 2, 4, 6. Okay. D minor. Just count up in 3s from A, because you build the chord in 3s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're building up the C major scale. Okay, so D, E, F, F, G, A. Do it again from A. 1, 2, 3. Gives you a D minor 7. Sorry, D minor. D minor 7. Okay, the distance between the D, the root note, and the top is 7. Okay, you could turn this chord into a 9 chord too. Just count up 3 from C. 1, 2, 3. Right? So you get this. What I like to do, I like to drop the 1 and the 5, which is D and A. 1 and the 5. Remember, for every chord, the root note always becomes 1, and everything else is in context from the root. So in this case, D is 1 and A is now 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and the 5 goes here. So you get this nice voicing. Right? And you could do an inversion. So let's put the E an octave lower here to create a nice 2 chord like this. Right? So if you're playing a song, right? D minor 9th, very easy. You're looking at this, remember, you have to look in from the bass, okay? D is the 1, so E is the 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, but the E is up here, right? Even if it's an octave higher, it's still a 9. So when I play this chord, well, let's just play D minor 9, and you imply the 7th. And all I did, remember, I took the 1 and the 5 and put it in the bass, and then I have the 3 here. Okay, so you have a gospel song, you're jamming. Well, what is this? Ooh, it's the same thing. It's the same D minor 9th. I just voiced it different and left out some notes. So I'm jamming. What is this? Well, it's just the, right? I took the F, the C, and the E. Right? No, let's do this. I kept the F and the C, put the E an octave lower. Okay, so I went from here to here. I'm just rearranging the notes. I left, and then I put the D in the bottom. You could play the A as well. So from here, I went like this. Okay, so this is the 1 chord. And usually in gospel, you go to the 3. Okay, and so that's a 1 2 3 progression, right? What is this? Ooh. So in gospel, over the 3, sometimes, a lot of times, more than not, gospel worship, when you have a bass note, that's a 3, right? 3 because we're in the C major scale, and E is 3, 1 2 3. Usually it's a 1 chord over the 3. Okay, what does that mean? The 1 chord is C, E, G, diatonic, over the bass note 3. So all we did was take the middle note and put it on the bottom. So we call this a 1, which means the 1 chord, the first diatonic chord, over the bass note, which is the 3. So 1 over 3. And then you can manipulate this and turning into an add 2 like so. Right? So very nice. So if we do our little gospel progression here, 1, we got the 2, and then we got the 3. Okay? Remember, this is just C, E, G with the add 2. I can repeat the C down here to create this nice voicing. And then I could add more notes too. I could add the G like this. Right? I've talked about this before. So the 1, we got the 2 like this or like this. Then we got the 3. Okay, let's talk about the 4 while we're at it. Okay, so usually on the 4, I like to do just an add 2. So 4 is F, just an add 2 like this. You can invert it, or you could do the major 7th, just like we did before in F major. You could apply here as well. F major, 1 2 3, F major 7. Boom, that easy. Okay, what was that? Over the 5, you could play a regular 5. You could do an add 2, so a G add 2 or add 9, as the software is saying. And then you could do open voicing like this, right? Like so. Or sometimes, if you're going back to the one from the 5, this is called what I call a 4 over 5. What does that mean? It's a 4 chord. In C major, the 4 chord is F, A, C. That's the diatonic chord. Okay? Over the 5, which is the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I just did a walk up. 3, 4, sharp, 4, 5. And then I kind of... Alright, you could practice that. Right, you could slow that down and practice that. And I did a, what is that? Well, it's a 5 over 6. So you built this nice fancy chord. My software is saying an A9 sus4, big fancy name. It's just a 5 chord, which is G, as you can see, the 5th degree G, GBD. Remember, you build these chords just counting in threes. If you want to build any major chord, count up the scale, right? So if we're in the key of C, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G major. Or, yeah. And then the 6 is A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because we're in the key of C. A is the 6th degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 over 6. So you'll hear that progression in some funky gospel tunes. Usually it goes back to the 1. Usually it could go other places as well. Let's talk about the 6th chord. The 6th chord diatonic, what is that? You should know. It's A minor. If you didn't know that, again, simple. Count up 6, then count in threes. 1, 2, 3, up the scale. Not random notes, okay? It's not black notes because I'm in the key of C. So I'm counting up A, B, C, then C, D, E. Okay, I could do the add 2. Okay, very nice. I could do an A minor 7th. You guessed it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because G is 7 steps from A. Remember, we're always using the context of the scale, okay? The notes in the scale. That's how you know what notes to add to the chord. Okay, it's not any random notes. I'm using all the notes from the C major scale because I'm in the key of C. Okay, I could go one more. I can make it a 9th chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. B is 9 steps from A, so it would be an A minor 9th. The 7th, which is G, is implied. So when you see or hear a A minor 9, right? The 7th, which is G, would be implied. So like so. And then you could do an inversion. You've heard me say it, maybe if you've watched a few of my videos, I always take the 1 and the 5, put it in the bottom. So you get that nice open voicing like so. You could then invert this top note and put it down here, right here. Right? So it becomes this. Alright? Same chord, I've just rearranged the notes. We call those inversions. Okay, so we got the 1 chord. Right? You could do add 9s on 1 chords. The 2 chord, which is minor, you could do, remember this is the 2 diatonic. D minor 7, D minor 9th. I could do this, then like this. Then over the 3 chord, usually in gospel worship songs, it's really a 1 over 3 as I explained. Then the 4, you could do diatonic 4, you could do add 2, you could do the add 7th, you could do the F major 9th. And then you could do the 4 over 5. Right? On the 6, you could do this R&B soundish, R&B sounding. Maybe I said that wrong. Another alternate to the 6 though is a 4 chord over the 6. And a lot of gospel dudes love this. Alright, basically you're taking the 4 chord and you're dropping the middle note, which is A, to the bottom. But in the key of C, A is the 6, so we call it a 4 over 6, or the 4 chord, which is FAC, as you can see in the diatonic triads, over the 6. You could even leave it out. They call this a drop 2, have a nice voicing. I'm just showing you different common things, right? So you could do just the A minor, and then do the extensions, or you could do it's a slash chord, right? That's the proper term. 4 over 6. Right, the software is saying F/A. I forgot to mention that's called a slash chord. Okay, on the 7th, okay, usually gospel, for simple songs, instead of doing the diatonic BDF, okay, you do a 5 over 7. Right? Which is basically the 5 chord with the middle note on the bottom. Like so. So 6, 7, 1. Okay, so. Or you could do this. You could do the add 2. 5/7 with the add 2. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down. Right? That's the 1 to the 7. This is a 5/7 with the add 9. To say that you're my God. That's a 4/6. You're my God. And it's a straight 4 chord. Right? That was just an example. Alright? So just a little quick tip here. You know, how to extend your chords. A lot of exploration that you could do. You know, when it pertains to gospel, you could apply this to other styles as well, like neo soul, R&B, adding these extended chords. Practice it in different keys, right? Not just C. I showed it in C because, you know, no flats, no sharps is kind of easy to understand. So hopefully those quick tips helped you out. Peace. Want to learn how to play even more gospel chords without theory overwhelm? Simply download the Top 7 Beginner Gospel Chords PDF by clicking the link in the description. You'll learn about the top 7 must-know gospel chords and how to use them in gospel songs you already know. Again, to get access, hit that link below, and I'll see you on the inside.